Renegades brings a brand new faction system alongside the Tharsis Junction social space, with 3 different groups you can pledge allegiance to, affecting the upgrades and rewards you can get from playing the new activities. But with a range of different modes, daily and weekly lockouts, here's everything you need to know to understand how to get the most out of your time in this expansion. The campaign will have given you a taste of the various Lawless Frontier activities, and one of the Renegade charge abilities each faction offers, but to be able to start gaining ranks to unlock the rest of the benefits, you have the choice of who to ally with, and each faction has unique rewards for doing so. Ranking up with the Fallen Pikers faction unlocks the Piker Mortar Renegade ability, and higher ranks allow you to upgrade that and the Falcon received during the campaign. Plus, you can spend credits to purchase grips for the Praxic Blade, and the refurbished A499 Kinetic Heavy Sniper. Ranking up the Cabal Totality Division offers the Imperium Behemoth alongside the Drop Pod, and you can buy Crystal Strength upgrades for the Praxic Blade and the modified B7 Stasis Primary Hand Cannon. And finally, gaining ranks with the Vex Tharsis Reformation provides access to the Forceful Blade upgrades for the Praxic Blade, Vex Stunfield, and Deflector, and the All-or-Nothing Strand Primary Pulse Rifle. Pledging allegiance to one of these factions on Step 9 of the quest then allows you to donate Dark Matter ingots to any of them. For this, it doesn't matter which you picked. All of their donation chests are now open, and you gain 100 rank points for every 10 ingots donated, as well as loot. The main important restrictions of picking a faction are related to priority contracts, and the daily and weekly lockout rewards associated. Contracts are found in the tab on the left side of the Lawless Frontier Director, and these don't need to be picked up or activated. They're just sitting there in the background ready to give rewards when fulfilled. There's one for each faction requiring a specific activity type or location to be completed, one daily for invasions, and most importantly, one daily priority contract for the faction you're aligned with. You can change allegiances as many times as you want each day until that priority contract is complete, at which point your choice is locked until the next daily reset, so bear that in mind. Priority contracts give the highest rewards and also give progress towards a larger reward cache that will be delivered at the next weekly reset. You get maximum weekly rewards from completing 3 of these daily priority contracts for one faction, but you also need to increase that faction's rank to be able to claim those larger caches. So it's up to you if you want to min-max one faction within a week or spread it around. Priority contracts must be completed in the Contested Territory node of the Lawless Frontier, which contains activity variants for each faction. For example, I'm allied with the Pikers, so my contract wants me to complete a contested job against either the Totality Cabal or Tharsis Vex here, so make sure you don't select the wrong one or you won't make any progress. Completing the priority contract in a contested territory also unlocks a Fortified Territory bonus the next day, giving increased rewards from activities in your allied faction's territories. Here, defeating combatants gives more credits when in a Piker territory because I'm allied with the Pikers. The other contracts are more generic, mostly specifying a planet or activity type, so if you get lucky with their crossovers, you can complete more than one at the same time, gaining reputation for multiple factions. So it's definitely worth checking all 3 of the generic contracts before picking which you want to load into. Completing a generic faction contract refreshes it with a new objective, and as you gain higher ranks for a faction, you have a higher chance for these generic contracts to be higher quality, with better rewards each time they refresh. For example, this one showed exotic rewards, and I received 2 exotics on completion, alongside the main loot and currency rewards. So to recap, pledging allegiance to a faction only really matters for the daily priority contracts, which give more reputation and currencies, and their associated weekly reward drops. You can still gain ranks from generic contracts or donating ingots to other factions, and purchase loot and upgrades from all of them no matter which you pick, so it's not very restrictive at all. Spider has the upgrade paths for the 3 basic Renegade abilities from the campaign, as well as some currencies to buy or exchange. And if you get max rank on one faction to complete the Fellow Friend Triumph, then all Renegade gear tiers will increase by 1, which is great because most loot in Renegades drops at tier 3 with a chance at tier 4, so those will bump to tier 4 or 5. Spider also has windows in his room for each faction, but I haven't seen what these do yet. Maybe something unlocks here when you hit max rank with a faction. When it comes to the activities themselves, there are 3 main types which define the style of the encounters, which get more challenging as you progress through the rounds. Bounty Hunt ends in a boss fight, Sabotage has you locating and destroying objects, And smuggle, you need to build up cargo reserves and then transport them across the map. Quick tip for the smuggle round where you have to pick up the boxes is to swap to an eager edge sword. Normally when holding cargo you walk slowly and can't double jump, and if you try to sprint it will drop the cargo box. But with eager edge you can do a single jump, eager, and zoom around completing the cargo moves really quickly. Resource nodes give a small amount of credits, and occasionally you'll get optional objectives nearby which also give rewards. Most of the time these are shown on the HUD, but sometimes they're kind of secret. For example, during a round, this boss captain kept spawning and running away. Every time we killed it, another spawned immediately, and eventually by following it, it led us to this door with breakable panels. Shooting those ended the event and gave a chest, so it's definitely worth keeping an eye out for these kind of things happening. And in this mission between the last 2 rounds, we had to transmat a few piles of glimmer. Again, these were not listed on the HUD, but doing it gave us an extra chest. Chests can also drop keycards for a specific location, and selecting an activity at that location and using the Recon Drone Renegade ability will reveal where to go, and then you can open the barrier and get better rewards inside, including exotics. And finally there's the Invasion node. Entering this playlist costs 1 Deathmark currency, and you can wager more than one from the currency tab next to the Contracts tab. And it either queues you into a short 1v1 PvP arena encounter, or it drops you into invading one of the other activities where you hunt down 3 other players while they're in the middle of a bounty hunt, smuggle, or sabotage mission. Some activity nodes identify themselves as invadable, so if you're entering one of these, it's worth bringing the Recon ability, which marks the invader, making it much easier to deal with them if you're on the receiving end. Although being invaded doesn't really have any penalties other than losing some time and res tokens, so it's really not that big of a deal if you get invaded. And as invasions are by far the shortest activity to complete as an invader, it can be a good way of getting loot fast if you like PvP. Other than that, the Tharsis Junction social space has other vendors around the outside where you can exchange credits for currencies, focused weapons or armor, and dismantling Renegades gear gives scrap which you can hand in for random weapons or armor. And that's it. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.